She mocked me in front of everyone, told me I wasn't her husband and had no say. They all laughed, but I smiled quietly. When she returned from her weekend away, her key failed, her bags were outside, and the whole neighborhood already knew why she'd been replaced. I used to think respect in a marriage was like breathing, automatic, essential, always there. Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things. My name's Jones, I'm 31, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought my 7-year marriage to Chloe was solid. Not perfect, but solid. I run a custom furniture workshop out of a converted warehouse on the edge of town. Started it 5 years ago with my hands, some tools, and a loan from my late grandmother. Now I've got 6 employees and a waiting list that stretches 3 months out. Chloe's a luxury event planner, corporate galas, high-end weddings, that whole world where a single orchid arrangement costs more than most people's car payments. We live in Willowbrook Heights. Yeah, one of those neighborhoods with an HOA that measures your grass height and a Facebook group where people post Ring camera footage of suspicious squirrels. The kind of place where your reputation is currency and everyone knows everyone's business, except when they pretend they don't. 3 Saturdays ago was our annual block party. Picture 70 people crammed into the garrison's backyard, craft beer flowing, kids running around with sparklers, and enough gossip to fuel a Netflix series. I'd been there since noon, helping set up tables and stringing lights. By 9 p.m., I was done. My back hurt from hauling coolers, and honestly, I just wanted to go home and watch something mindless on TV. I found Chloe holding court near the fire pit, wine glass in hand, surrounded by her usual audience, mostly other wives from the neighborhood plus a few husbands who always laughed a little too hard at her jokes. She was in her element, animated, gesturing wildly while telling some story about a wedding disaster she'd saved. "Hey babe," I said, touching her shoulder gently. "I'm thinking about heading back. You coming?" The group went quiet. Not immediately quiet, but that gradual fade where everyone's suddenly interested in their drinks. Chloe turned to me with this expression I'd never seen before. Like I was some random guy interrupting her TED talk. "Excuse me?" She laughed, but it wasn't warm. "Since when do you decide when I leave?" "I wasn't deciding for you, I was just..." "Oh please." She turned back to the group, rolling her eyes dramatically. "This is what I deal with, people. He thinks because he makes pretty tables in his little workshop, he gets to dictate my social calendar." Someone chuckled nervously. I felt heat creeping up my neck. "Chloe, I literally just asked if you wanted to leave with me." She set down her wine glass with deliberate precision. "Jones, honey, let me explain something since you seem confused. You don't have authority here. This isn't your workshop where you can bark orders at your employees. I wear the pants in this marriage, and everyone here knows it." The fire crackled. Someone's phone was recording. I could see the screen glowing in my peripheral vision. "Matter of fact," she continued, now fully performing, "when's the last time you made a decision about anything important? The house? My choice. The cars? My choice. This neighborhood? My choice. You just build your little tables and let me handle the actual life stuff." The group erupted in laughter. Not everyone, but enough. Enough to make it feel like a verdict. I stood there for maybe 5 seconds that felt like 5 hours. Everything in me wanted to respond, to fight back, to say something that would shut this down. But I didn't. I couldn't give her that satisfaction, couldn't give them that show. Instead, I smiled. Not broadly, just enough. "You're right," I said quietly. "Enjoy your night." I walked back to our house alone, their laughter fading behind me. Inside, I poured myself 3 fingers of whiskey and sat in my workshop sketches, trying to make sense of what just happened. Around midnight, Chloe came home. Not drunk, but loose enough to dismiss everything. "Don't be so sensitive," she said, kicking off her heels. "It was just jokes. Everyone knows I love you." That's when her phone buzzed on the counter. She grabbed it fast, too fast, and turned away to read it. The smile on her face while reading that text was nothing like the smile she'd given me all night. She typed something quickly, then locked her phone and set it face down. "I'm exhausted," she announced, already heading upstairs. "Don't stay up too late overthinking everything." I sat there nursing my whiskey, replaying the night. 7 years. 7 years of building something together, or at least I thought we were building together. The way she'd performed for that crowd, the way they'd eaten it up, that wasn't spontaneous. That was practiced. How many times had she done this when I wasn't around? 3 days passed. Surface normal. She left for work early, came home late, we exchanged maybe 20 words a day. But something had shifted in me. I started noticing things. How she'd angle her phone away when texting. How she'd step outside for calls. How she suddenly had client dinners 3 nights a week when it used to be 1. Thursday morning, she dropped the bomb. "I'm going on a wellness retreat this weekend with Ren," she said, not looking up from her coffee. "That new place up in Brookstone Mountains. Digital detox, yoga, the whole thing. I need to decompress." Ren was her business associate, another event planner who specialized in charity galas. They'd known each other for 3 years, occasionally collaborated on bigger projects. "Since when are you into wellness retreats?" I asked. "Since I'm stressed and need a break." "Is that a problem?" That tone again. That edge that dared me to challenge her. "No problem." She left Friday afternoon. Packed light, just a weekend bag and her yoga mat. Kissed me on the cheek like I was her cousin. The moment her car turned the corner, I made a call. My buddy Noel from high school was a lawyer now, mostly corporate stuff, but he knew people. I needed someone discreet, someone professional, someone who could find information without leaving fingerprints. "You sure about this?" Noel asked after I explained what I needed. "I'm sure I need to know." He gave me a number. The guy's name was Castellan, former insurance investigator, now private. Not cheap, but thorough. We met at a diner outside town. He looked exactly like you'd expect, forgettable face, good with details, zero judgment in his eyes. "I need 3 days of surveillance," I told him. "Photos, timestamps, locations. Everything." "Standard Infidelity package," he said, sliding me a contract. "Half up front, half on delivery. You want real-time updates or summary report?" "Real-time." Saturday morning, 9 a.m., first text from Castellan, subject at Grandview Hotel, not Brookstone Mountains. 47 miles from residence. My stomach dropped but my mind sharpened. Grandview was a boutique hotel, the kind with a spa and overpriced restaurant. The kind you don't go to alone. 10:30 a.m., subject at brunch, Grandview restaurant. Accompanied by white male, approximately 35, dark hair, business casual. Photo attached. The angle wasn't perfect, but I recognized him immediately. Donovan Reeves. Her business partner for the last 2 years. They'd pitched events together, shared vendor contacts, split referral fees. He'd been to our house for dinner. His wife had sent us a Christmas card. The updates kept coming. 1 p.m., subjects returned to room 412. 3 p.m., room service delivered. 2 champagne glasses visible. 6 p.m., subjects at hotel bar. Photo attached. Her hand on his thigh under the table. 8 p.m., subjects returned to room. I spent Saturday night in my workshop, not building anything, just thinking. Running my hands over the wood grain, feeling the smoothness of finished pieces. There's something about working with wood, you can't rush it, can't force it. You have to understand its nature, work with the grain, plan your cuts carefully. One wrong move and you can ruin the whole piece. Sunday brought more of the same. Breakfast in bed, receipt photographed, couples massage at the spa, appointment confirmation captured, intimate lunch on the terrace, multiple angles. Sunday evening, I went through our finances. Really went through them. Found a credit card I didn't know existed, opened 6 months ago. The statements told a story: hotel charges, restaurant bills always for 2, purchases from a lingerie store I know she'd never shopped at for me. 6 months. This had been going on for 6 months. My phone buzzed. New message from Castellan, just 2 words, "There's more." Castellan sent a link to a cloud folder. Dozens of files, all time-stamped. The regular hotel meetups went back 6 months, but buried in the metadata was something else, geotagged photos from Donovan's social media that Castellan had scraped. A conference in Miami 4 months ago. Chloe had said she was visiting her mother in Tampa that weekend. The photos showed them at the same beachfront restaurant, posted hours apart, careful not to be in each other's shots, but the table settings were identical. I sat back in my workshop chair, oddly calm. You'd think I'd be raging, throwing things, drinking myself stupid. But no. I felt like I'd been handed blueprints to something I'd suspected but couldn't see. Now I could see everything. Monday morning, she came home around 10, glowing. "How was the retreat?" I asked, not looking up from my coffee. "Amazing. Really cleansing. Ren and I did this sunrise meditation that was just transformative." She dropped her bag by the door. "I'm thinking we should eat cleaner. Maybe go plant-based for a while?" "Sure." She paused, probably expecting more resistance. You okay? You seem different. Just thinking about a new project. Big commission came in while you were gone. That satisfied her. I was just the furniture guy, after all. Too simple to notice things. I called Noel that afternoon, had him recommend a divorce attorney. Patricia Vega, 20th floor of the Brennan Tower downtown. She looked like someone's grandmother until she started talking strategy. At-fault divorce in this state requires clear evidence of adultery, she said, reviewing Castellan's files. This is more than enough. Now, tell me about assets. The house is mine. Inherited from my grandmother 2 years before we married. Never put her name on it. Patricia actually smiled. Smart man. What about bank accounts? Separate, mostly. One joint for household expenses. Business? LLC in my name only. She has her own S-corp for the event planning. This is going to be cleaner than you think, Patricia said. The infidelity, the hidden credit card, the fact that major assets are already yours, she has almost no leverage. But we need to move strategically. When do you want to file? Not yet. I need a few more days. She raised an eyebrow. There's something else I need to handle first. I spent Tuesday and Wednesday putting pieces in place. Called a locksmith, scheduled for Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Called a moving company, specifically one that specialized in expedited relocations, the kind that could pack someone's entire life in 3 hours. Booked a storage unit in her name, paid for a month up front. Thursday, I did something that felt necessary. I looked up Donovan's wife on social media. Trina Reeves, pediatric nurse, 2 kids, boys, maybe 8 and 10. Their family photos looked genuine, happy. She deserved to know. I didn't message her directly. Instead, I created a clean email account and wrote a simple message: your husband is having an affair. I have proof. If you want to see it, respond to this email. If not, I understand. She responded within an hour, who is this? How do you know? The woman is my wife. I have photos, receipts, dates, times. Everything. I want to see it. I sent her a subset of the files, enough to prove it but not enough to traumatize her. Her response came back in minutes: can we meet? We met at a coffee shop in the next town over. Trina looked like she'd aged 5 years since her Facebook photos. She reviewed everything on my tablet, silent, occasionally pausing to close her eyes and breathe. How long have you known? She asked. 5 days. What are you going to do? This Sunday, when she comes back from another retreat, I'm going to end it. Publicly. Legally. Completely. She nodded slowly. Donovan's supposed to be at a golf tournament Sunday. Wanna bet he's not? I know he won't be. She looked at me then, really looked at me. You're planning something. I'm planning justice. Clean, legal, but complete. You in? She stirred her coffee, thinking. What do you need from me? Just show up. Sunday, noon, my house. Bring your questions for both of them. You're going to ambush them? No, I said. I'm going to give them exactly what they gave us, a public performance. Only this time, we're writing the script. Friday night, Chloe announced another weekend trip. Ren and I love the retreat so much, we're going back. That's great, babe. You deserve it. She paused while packing, studied me. You've been weird all week. Just focused on work. Big commission, remember? Right. She zipped her bag. The client wants a rush job? Something like that. Everything has to be perfect by Sunday afternoon. She left Saturday morning, same routine. Light kiss, yoga mat, weekend bag. This time I didn't even watch her drive away. I had work to do. First, I went to Best Buy and rented a projection setup, the kind they use for outdoor movie nights. Told them I was hosting a Super Bowl party. The screen was 10 feet wide, bright enough to see in daylight. Back home, I created the presentation. Simple slides, no fancy transitions. Just evidence in chronological order. The receipts. The credit card statements. The hotel photos. Timestamps on everything. I titled it a 6-month story and set it to loop every 3 minutes. I uploaded the whole package to our neighborhood Facebook group, but scheduled it for noon Sunday. The caption read, "Concerned about suspicious activity in our neighborhood. Please review and advise." The movers arrived at 9 a.m. Sunday. 3 guys, efficient, no questions asked. I'd already marked everything that was hers with blue painter's tape. Her clothes, her office stuff, her collection of designer handbags, the espresso machine she'd insisted we needed, the exercise bike she'd used twice. We're supposed to pack all this? The lead mover asked. Everything with blue tape. Carefully, professionally. She's relocating. Divorce? Something like that. They worked fast. By 11:30, 17 boxes and 6 suitcases sat in our garage, labeled and inventoried. I had them loaded all into the truck, then gave them the storage unit address. Park the truck on the street, I said. Leave the boxes on the lawn. Receipt visible. The locksmith showed up right on time. Took him 15 minutes to change all 3 locks, front door, back door, garage side entrance. He handed me the new keys. Messy divorce? He asked. Clean divorce. Just want to keep it that way. I set up the projection screen on the front lawn, angled toward the street. Connected my laptop, tested the presentation. The photos looked massive, impossible to ignore. Perfect. Trina arrived at 11:50, parked across the street. She looked composed, wearing sunglasses and a blazer like she was heading to work. She walked over, surveyed the scene, the boxes on the lawn, the projection screen, the truck. This is really happening, she said. It is. You ready? I brought something, she said, pulling out her phone. Donovan's credit card statements. Want to guess how many charges match your wife's secret card? I actually laughed. All of them? 80%. He's not even creative enough to cheat properly. Noon came. The Facebook post went live. Within seconds, my phone started buzzing. Messages, comments, reactions. The presentation started rolling on the big screen. Even in daylight, you could see everything clearly. Then, like clockwork, the neighbors started appearing. First the Petersons from next door, I know, but that's actually their name, then the new Yens, then others. Some pretended to walk dogs. Others just stood on their lawns, watching. Jones, what is this? Peterson asked, looking at the screen as a hotel receipt appeared. Documentation, I said. At 12:15, Chloe's car rounded the corner. I watched her face change as she took in the scene, the crowd, the truck, the screen showing her and Donovan at dinner. She pulled into the driveway, sat in her car for a full minute, then got out. What the hell is this? She was trying for outrage, but her voice cracked. Your luggage, I said, pointing to the boxes. Your storage unit information is taped to the top box. Her phone exploded with notifications. The Facebook post was getting shared, commented on, screenshotted. She looked at it, then at the growing crowd, then at the presentation cycling through another hotel receipt. You can't do this. This is my home. No, I said, pulling out the legal papers Patricia had prepared. It's my house. Inherited property, never commingled. You'll want to read page 3. She snatched the papers, scanned them. Emergency exclusion order, valid immediately, based on documented infidelity and potential asset dissipation. This isn't legal. You can't just throw me out. Actually, Trina said, stepping forward, removing her sunglasses, he can. Chloe went pale. Trina? What are you? That's when Donovan's BMW screeched around the corner, driving fast enough to make everyone step back. He jumped out, saw the screen, saw his wife, saw the crowd. Nobody move, he said, pulling out his phone. I'm calling my lawyer. Call whoever you want, I said. But you might want to watch the next slide first. The screen cycled to their text messages. Castellan had been thorough, somehow he'd pulled deleted conversations from cloud backups. The texts were explicit. Not just about lovemaking, but about us. About me. About Trina. She's so boring, Chloe had written. All she talks about is her kids and her nursing shifts. Jones is just a glorified carpenter, Donovan had replied. At least he's too stupid to notice. The crowd had gone silent. Someone was definitely recording now, I counted at least 3 phones up. Trina walked straight up to Donovan. Boring? Really? Baby, this isn't, these are taken out of context. Which context makes I can't wait to taste you again appropriate? She held up her phone, showing his credit card statement. The March charge at the Grandview? That was supposed to be your mother's birthday dinner. You said I couldn't come because she wanted just family. Donovan's lawyer must have been speed dial because he started talking rapid fire into his phone. Chloe was frantically texting, probably trying to get the Facebook post taken down. Good luck with that, it had already been shared 47 times. This is defamation, Chloe announced, finding her voice. Invasion of privacy. I'll sue you for everything. Truth is an absolute defense against defamation, I said. Ask your boyfriend's lawyer. Mrs. Wynne from 2 houses down actually gasped when the lingerie store receipts appeared on screen. $400 for underwear? She said, loud enough for everyone to hear. That wasn't for you, was it, Jones? Apparently not my size, I said. Donovan ended his call. Everyone needs to delete any photos or videos immediately. This is a private matter. Like my marriage was private? Trina cut him off. Like when you told your golf buddies that I'd gained weight after the kids? That was private? The presentation cycled to a photo of them kissing in the hotel elevator. Jesus Christ, turn it off. Chloe screamed. It'll cycle through 2 more times, I said. Then it stops automatically. She rushed to the projection screen, but I stepped between her and the equipment. That's rented. You break it, you buy it. This is my house too. No, it's not. I held up the deed. Never was. You want to check the property records? They're public. Donovan grabbed Chloe's arm. We need to leave. Now. And go where? She snapped at him. All my stuff is in those boxes. We'll get a hotel. With what money? You just spent $8,000 on that Vegas trip last month. The crowd perked up. This was getting better than reality TV. That was a business expense, Donovan said through gritted teeth. Business? Trina laughed. What business requires a penthouse suite and bottles of Dom? Peterson cleared his throat. Jones? The Homeowners Association has rules about gatherings. This isn't a gathering, I said. It's a moving day. She's relocating. Chloe's phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and her face went white. It's Miranda. Miranda was her biggest client, a pharmaceutical heiress who threw million-dollar charity galas. Don't answer, Donovan said. But she did. We could only hear her side. Miranda, I can explain. No, it's not what it, please, just let me, the contract? But we've been working together I understand. She hung up. She's pulling all her events. Said she can't work with someone who lacks integrity. Her phone rang again. And again. Each call was another client, another cancellation. This is your fault, she turned on Donovan. You said no one would find out. My fault? You're the one who wanted to meet every weekend. I wanted discreet meetings. You picked the hotels. They were devouring each other, and the audience was eating it up. But I wasn't done. Chloe, I said, loud enough to cut through their argument. There's one more document you need to see. I pulled out a sealed envelope from my jacket. The return address was visible, Brennan, Associates, Forensic Accounting. Her face went from pale to gray. You didn't? Oh, I said, handing her the envelope. I absolutely did. She tore open the envelope with shaking hands. I watched her scan the pages, her expression shifting from confusion to panic. What is it? Donovan demanded, trying to read over her shoulder. He had someone analyze the business accounts, she whispered. Our business accounts. For the past 6 months, Chloe and Donovan had been running expenses through both their companies, writing off their affair as client development and vendor meetings. The forensic accountant had traced every transaction, cross-referenced every receipt. Tax fraud is a beautiful thing when it's not yours. The IRS might be interested in that, I said. Or maybe not. Depends on how this all plays out. Trina stepped forward. Wait, they were using business funds? Let me see that. Donovan grabbed the papers. His face went through the same color progression as Chloe's had. We can explain this. To the IRS? Peterson said. He was an accountant himself. Good luck with that. The crowd was getting bigger. Someone had brought out lawn chairs. This was better than anything on the neighborhood Facebook page had ever been. Chloe's phone rang again. She looked at it and silenced the call. Then another. And another. 17 clients, she said, staring at her phone. 17 cancellations in 10 minutes. Baby, we'll figure this out, Donovan said, reaching for her. She slapped his hand away. Don't touch me. This is over. What? You're breaking up with me now? Here? What exactly is left? She gestured at the boxes, the crowd, the screen still cycling through evidence. Your wife knows. My husband knows. Everyone knows. My business is destroyed. We're probably going to get audited. So yeah, it's over. 6 months, Trina said quietly. 6 months of lies, and it ends in 17 minutes on a suburban lawn. She turned to Donovan. The boys are at my mother's. When you come to get your things, they won't be there. My lawyer will send the papers. She walked to her car with perfect composure, then stopped and turned back. Jones, thank you. For the evidence. For the proof. For the show. She looked at Chloe. He was never yours to take. But you were never worth keeping either. She drove away. The crowd started dispersing, but slowly, wanting to see how it ended. Donovan stood there, looking between his phone and Chloe. I need to go. Need to figure this out. You're leaving? Chloe said. Now? I have kids. A real job. I can't. This is too much. He practically ran to his BMW and peeled out, leaving Chloe standing alone on the lawn next to her boxes. The projection had finally stopped. I unplugged the equipment, started breaking it down. Chloe watched me work, something shifting in her expression. You planned all this, she said. Not a question. Every detail. The movers, the locks, the storage unit, the presentation, getting Trina here, everything? Everything. She looked at the boxes, then at the house, then at me. Why not just divorce me quietly? Why the production? I stopped coiling the extension cord and really looked at her. Even now, she didn't get it. You humiliated me. Publicly. Made me into a joke for everyone's entertainment. You said I had no authority, no say, no power in my own life. So this was revenge? No. This was truth. You just happened to be standing in it when the lights came on. She picked up one of the smaller boxes, testing its weight. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. She called an Uber, started loading what she could into it. On her third trip, she stopped. Who else knows? About the IRS stuff? Right now? Just us and the accountant. But that could change. She understood the implication. Play nice in the divorce, or face federal investigation. You were never this calculating before, she said. I was. You just never thought I was worth noticing. The Uber arrived. She managed to fit 6 boxes. The rest would have to wait. As the car pulled away, she rolled down the window. Was any of it real? The 7 years? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Ask yourself the same question. 6 months later, my workshop had a waiting list stretching 8 months. Turns out, the story had traveled through the business community. Jones came, the man who planned the perfect response. I got requests from 3 divorce attorneys wanting custom conference tables. The house sold quickly. I found a better space closer to the workshop, with room to expand. One morning, I was grabbing coffee at a place downtown when I saw her. Chloe, wearing a server's apron, refilling someone's cup. She saw me, froze for a moment, then walked over. Table for one? Just coffee to go. She poured it, steady hands, no expression. I heard your business is doing well, she said. It is. Mine's gone. Donovan too. He moved to Houston. I left a 20 for a $3 coffee. As I turned to leave, she called out. Was it worth it? Destroying everything? I turned back, met her eyes. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending it wasn't already broken. The bell chimed as I left. Through the window, I saw her pocket the 20 and go back to work. Some things you build. Some things you burn. The trick is knowing which is which. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.